Florida is one of the biggest producers and consumers of medical marijuana in the country. This election, voters will decide whether marijuana should be available to anyone 21 or older without a prescription. We investigate what Amendment 3 could mean to our state economy, law enforcement, and our community.
Years ago, yeah, I was not a fan of marijuana. I didn't. You were getting it from your corner drug dealer on the street.
53-year-old Jeff Rexford has completely changed his mind about marijuana because he says it has completely changed his life. Marijuana is his solution for back pain now.
I've had pain pills before in the past for injuries and things of that nature, and they just make you feel not you. Just drowsy, lolly, just like a zombie. I no longer do that. I'll take a gummy and have that, and that'll just immediately just take away my pain. I'd say within about 30 minutes, I start feeling relief. And if I want to have instant relief, I'll smoke a pre-rolled joint.
Rexford picks up his medical marijuana at this Sunnyside dispensary in Cape Coral every week. He says his daily dose has also improved his marriage. It's helped him with his long battle with anxiety and depression.
It helps me communicate with my wife in a more civil manner. Not screaming or yelling. If I was excited about something, it's just a more relaxed feeling.
Rexford is one of nearly 900,000 people holding a medical marijuana card in Florida. He thinks more Floridians could see similar benefits if it were easier to get marijuana. That's why he supports the legalization of recreational marijuana. He doesn't fully understand the opposition.
It's an uneducated age thing. The older adults, the older baby boomers, they looked at that as a party drug. They didn't realize back in the 60s and 70s that it had benefit to it.
It's a proven job creator.
Cole Peacock supports Amendment 3 as well, and not just for the personal benefits. Peacock is co-owner of the Caloosahatchee Cannabis Company in downtown Fort Myers, which offers everything from coffee to beer infused with CBD. That's one of the active ingredients in the cannabis plant that doesn't make people high.
The idea is that it helps with sleep, it calms you down.
Peacock would like to add recreational marijuana to his products. He hopes to get a recreational marijuana dispensary license from the state if voters approve Amendment 3. He's seen the benefits in his life as well.
That it covers back pain, muscle soreness, sleep, potential and anxiety when things are taking place.
Peacock helped push the passage of medical marijuana in Florida. He says the state economy will benefit expanding into recreational pot as long as it's regulated carefully.
As a whole, pays very well. It pays on average more than most industries do. It touches everything from construction to development to marketing to science to pure agricultural growing. You got to have buildings there. The grow facilities, they're large, massive facilities.
Massive, like this 750,000 square foot cultivation facility in North Florida, one of the largest in the country, built by Trulieve, Florida's largest marijuana producer. There are now 665 dispensaries in the state, about 30 in Southwest Florida. It's estimated the medical marijuana industry generates more than $2 billion in sales annually. But medical marijuana isn't taxed. Recreational marijuana could be. Some economists predict pot sales could triple if Amendment 3 passes, and that could generate at least $200 million or more in state and local revenues each year.
The industry is very profitable. If you run it the right way and run it as a business, if you're just doing it as a hobby and trying to make a quick dollar, like any other industry, you're probably going to fail.
But Deborah Groshala sees danger in passing Amendment 3.
My son really showed psychosis while smoking marijuana. He thought that FBI was listening in on phone calls. He thought his girlfriend was having an affair. He thought people were actually listening in on him when he was at home. He actually was really very, very out there.
Groshala is a behavioral health technician at Valiant Recovery in Punta Gorda, which treats people struggling with substance use disorder. She says many people are unaware of the potential risk between frequent pot use and psychosis, a disconnection from reality. She's in recovery from substance abuse herself. She says pot caused her paranoia.
I've had psychosis with marijuana. When I smoked it, back before it was even as potent as it is now, thinking that people were talking about me. A lot of just weird mental things going on.
While marijuana's long-term risks are still being researched, there is growing evidence of potentially severe side effects in some people. Several studies, including 2 from Britain and Denmark, suggest a link between the frequent use of pot and psychiatric disorders like schizophrenia. Scientists believe it's the high levels of THC, the mind-altering chemical in cannabis, that can trigger the disorders in people who have a genetic disposition to them. Gregory Colora is one of them. He is now a counselor at Valiant Recovery.
I was first introduced to it probably around 15 or 16, and it consumed my life after I smoked it.
Colora says pot was a gateway drug.
I began going down a darker path of what comes with drug addiction. I thought it was just going to be fun and something to do recreational, and it turned into a lifelong disease.
Colora and Groshala say legalizing pot won't just affect those who use it.
I look through our county's sheriff's website every morning and see all the DUIs and people being irresponsible, and I just feel this is going to be another way for that to happen. At the end of the day, you're putting lives at risk.
We wanted to get a different perspective on recreational marijuana, and so we turned to the state of Colorado. It's been legal there since 2012 when voters passed an amendment making Colorado the first in the country to allow recreational use. I spoke to the sheriff of Arapahoe County, Tyler Brown, to see how it's changed his community. Sheriff Brown, welcome. So
thanks for having me.
You were born and raised in Colorado. From a law enforcement perspective, how would you describe the impact recreational marijuana has had on your state since it was approved more than 10 years ago?
Since the passage of the recreational marijuana law, we've had a drastic increase in illegal marijuana grows across our county. We've had approximately 30 takedowns of illegal marijuana grows that are occurring in neighborhoods. And I think it's something that people need to take into account when they're looking at voting for recreational marijuana. Just like anything that we have in our society, there are people that are going to try to get around the rules and regulations. And we've seen that in our community when it comes to these illegal grows. And these illegal grows are happening in every type of community that we have. Nice communities that have seen houses destroyed by marijuana grows. And we're not talking about 5 or 6 plants. We're talking about hundreds of marijuana plants inside of a home so people can grow this substance and get around some of the tax laws and still provide it on the black market. So as nice as it sounds sometimes to have marijuana be available recreationally, and those individuals that partake in the use of that doing it responsibly, there's still going to be that underbelly of the black market that has marijuana out on the streets and harming the community.
So is your opinion that recreational marijuana has made your community less safe than before?
I don't think less safe. I think that there is an impact that is damaging. You know, we've seen a lot of tax revenue. I worked in a small town here in Colorado for a while that had 2 marijuana shops in it, and those marijuana shops brought in a tremendous amount of tax revenue to that municipality. That allowed the law enforcement agency there, the police department, to benefit immensely from that tax revenue. But I have seen an impact of homes being purchased and marijuana being grown in them.
So Sheriff Brown, what would you say would be your message to voters in Florida when trying to decide how to vote on this recreational marijuana amendment?
Slow down and get it right. Make sure that all the rules and regulations are in place. Make sure that the funding, if you're going to vote yes on it, that there's funding there that supports the regulation, and that you have the ability to support your law enforcement agency when those black market grows are there. I think we've seen a trend across the country of people and states moving towards recreational marijuana. There's been discussion with the DEA of reclassifying marijuana, but it's important to make sure that those regulations are there and that there's ways that you're able to address individuals that are going to try to take advantage these situations.
Sheriff Tyler Brown from Arapahoe County, Colorado. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate it.